Pet Check is brought to you by Bosley's, a proud supporter of the Victoria Humane Society. Go to bosleys.com/givingback.
It's Pet Check time. Look at these little sweethearts. We have kittens on Pet Check today. Again, we've had a lot of kittens lately, and that's because there's just so many kittens looking for homes right now. The pet overpopulation crisis on Vancouver Island is just getting worse and worse, unfortunately. So these little guys are the lucky ones. They are 3 of 9 up for adoption from their litter. The other 6 were too sick to come, and sadly 3 of their siblings were found dead when they were found. So Penny Stone's here to tell us a little bit about those circumstances, because it was really an awful situation.
It was a horrible situation. A lady had heard about these kittens that were in a shed, and she went to investigate and check on them, and unfortunately 3 of them had already passed away. There was no food and water. It was hot, as you can imagine, in a shed.
And sheds really heat up.
Yeah.
It's not a safe location.
And so she got them all out, took them straight to the vet. She was very on it. And
That's
then
great. She saved these guys.
Yeah, she definitely saved these guys. And she called us and she goes, I don't know what to do. They need ongoing medical. Can you take them on? So we, of course, said yes. And they came in, and they were pretty, 6 of them couldn't open their eyes. They were so steamed shut. So it was...
Yeah, crusted shut from being sick. And I've seen that. I've fostered kittens that have come in that way. And it's horrible because they'll be walking around. They're blind. They can't see where they're going. They can't find any food. They're starving to death. They're dehydrated. It's just a horrible situation. So if you see kittens outside, please call one of the rescues, because they can trap them, they can come and get them. In this case, these guys were easy to get, and these 3 are doing great, and hopefully their 6 siblings will be doing great very soon. You can see they're all playful. A few days ago, they were just lethargic and not having any fun. But we wanted to talk about rabies. It's something we haven't talked about on Pet Check. Now, most people, when they get their dogs at the vet, they get vaccinated for rabies. If you have outdoor cats, you have to get them vaccinated for rabies as well, because we've actually had a case of rabies in a kitten on Vancouver Island in Chemainus.
Absolutely, and we have never had it so close. So it's really important that if you let your cats out at all, that they get rabies vaccine. I would suggest that all cats should have a rabies vaccine, just in case they get out. Certainly it comes from bats. We're getting the infections from bats, and it's like you said, there's a lot of bats around. People don't see them, so they don't think there's a lot, especially if you're near the water.
Yeah, and at nighttime, often it'll look like birds flying, but it's bats flying. Raccoons also are carriers of rabies on Vancouver Island. So it's more common usually for a pet to come in contact with a bat somehow than a raccoon, but both are possibilities. And if you're a person who comes in contact with either animal, really you need to go get a rabies vaccine right away, because there was a case a few years ago. A man actually died tragically. He was coming back from Tofino, stopped, a bat brushed his arm and I guess scratched him. He died from it because symptoms don't show up usually until about 3 weeks later, and by then it's too late to get the vaccine, and there's only been a very rare number of cases where people have survived rabies without that vaccine, and a lot of medical intervention. The first lady to survive about 30 years ago, she actually had to learn how to walk again, how to speak again. It was just an incredibly horrible circumstance.
And it's so preventable. So make sure that, get your cats vaccinated for rabies. Your dog should be vaccinated for rabies, and make sure that if you see any signs of them doing strange things, like they'll be foaming at the mouth, they'll be doing that, you'll be able to tell right away. It's pretty obvious.
Yeah, and then by then for the animals, it's too late.
It's too late.
They have to be put down.
Absolutely.
And anyone who's come in contact with them has to get a vaccine right away. Immediately. Call Island Health right away and make sure you get your vaccines right away. Look at these little cuties. Well, these guys will make great family pets. And of course, inside cats it's much safer for the cats to be indoor cats. These guys are super cuddly. Hello. Oh, you're so pretty.
So cute.
They'll go to the satellite adoption centers for the Victoria Humane Society. So that's Bosley's at Royal Oak and the Pets West in Langford and Duncan. You can find out more on the Pet Check page of our website. We'll put those locations on our website. Just go to checknews.ca. Click on the Pet Check page there. Thanks for watching. You are so cute. My goodness.